Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Katie. So a few weeks ago, I made a Cricut video where I showed how to use all the different materials, so regular vinyl, iron-on, and infusible ink. And I made a really cute infusible ink plant t-shirt. And I didn't do a full tutorial, just kind of did an overview and showed the final product. And a lot of you guys commented that you wanted to see the full tutorial of how I made that. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys today. I have two different methods that you can use to make these shirts using markers and pens, which are the infusible ink from Cricut. And I'm also going to show you how to do it with the Explorer Air 2 and the Cricut Joy. So you've got a few options here depending on what machine you have. And this video is kindly sponsored by Cricut, so thank you to them. This is going to be a really beginner-friendly tutorial from start to finish, so I hope you guys will find it helpful. So let's go ahead and get started. So to get started on the first one, you're going to open Cricut Design Space, and from the home page, you're going to click on New Project. Then I went ahead over right on the left side to Images, and like I said, I want to make a plant t-shirt, so I just searched plants in the little search bar here. There are a ton of options, especially if you have a subscription to Cricut Access. If you don't, there are still plenty of options to choose from, so just see what comes up and what you like. This is the one that I really love, so I went ahead and clicked on it and then hit Insert Images, and now I've got it right here in my new project. So I'm gonna go ahead and resize this. This is up to you, it's personal preference how big or small you want your design. You can kind of measure your shirt ahead of time to decide that, whatever you like. So I just resized it to be about 7 inches wide. And then I'm gonna go up to Operation, and I'm going to click on Pen because we're gonna have this draw. So what you wanna do is make sure that it's set to pen, but then I'm actually using a marker. So I'm going to click on the question mark here and hit this little drop down, and I'm going to find the marker setting, which is right here. And then it will ask you what color you're using. This just gives you an idea of what it's going to look like when it's transferred onto your base material. The one I'm using is called Deep Teal, and I think it's such a pretty color. This is going to look so good and pop really well on a white shirt. So now I'm ready to make it, and you always wanna make sure you're clicking on the right machine. I'm using my Explorer for this project, so I have that clicked, and then I'm going to go ahead and say make it. So it'll show you a little mock-up of what it will look like on your cutting mat, and I'm going to change the material size to a letter size piece of paper because I'm using copy paper. And then you always need to remember to mirror your design here with infusible ink because otherwise it's going to come out backwards on your base material. So just never forget when you're doing an infusible ink project to click that mirror option before you actually make it. So I've got my base material set on my machine to paper, and then it's telling me to load my tools and materials. So we're gonna switch it up here and show you how I load everything into the machine. So this is the marker. I'm using this Deep Teal marker. It came in a pack, thought they were really cool. So this just gives you an idea of what types of colors you can choose from. I have a whole bunch of them. So I'm using this Deep Teal. I'm just gonna open clamp A and then just put my marker right inside and push it down until it clicks and then close that back up. Now Cricut recommends using laser copy paper, so if you have that, go ahead and use it. I've also used regular copy paper before and it's okay, but laser copy is better. So you're gonna load this into your machine and click that little arrow, and then it's going to just tell you to press go. So you can go ahead and press the little C Cricut button and it will start drawing your design out for you. And this part is so cool because this is a bigger design. It did take like 5 minutes probably to completely draw this out, and it wrote all the little names of the plants down below, and I just love watching this process. I think it is so much fun, and I'm terrible at like drawing or handwriting, so this is ideal for me to get like a really beautiful design that I couldn't do by hand for sure. So once it's finished drawing the entire design, it's going to push your mat back out, and you can go ahead and hit that little unload button, and then you can pull this out. So in order to take my paper off of my mat, I actually find it easiest to flip my mat over and then hold the paper down to the table and just kind of pull the mat away. This was a brand new mat, so it was a little bit sticky, but I was just really careful and delicate with it, and I finally got it off without ripping or bending the paper too much. So I'm gonna be using my Easy Press 2 and my mat here. You can also use a towel just to protect your surface. And then I'm using the Cricut Blank Infusible Ink t-shirt because these are made to be used with infusible ink. So I'm gonna lay it out over my Easy Press mat, and then I took a piece of cardstock and just slid it inside the t-shirt because you wanna make sure that the ink isn't bleeding through from the front of the t-shirt to the back. So the cardstock is going to help prevent that from happening. Next, I took a lint roller to just roll off any little pieces of fuzz or lint that might be on the shirt and prevent the design from transferring fully and perfectly. Now I took a piece of butcher paper and laid it down. You can find this online. And I just took my Easy Press 2 and put it over the butcher paper to preheat the t-shirt before putting on my design. I decided to cut out any excess blank paper that was around the edges of my design so that it'd be easier to center, and then I flipped it over and I placed it right on top of my shirt. And I'm using this heat-resistant tape just to keep it from sliding around, but this is optional. I've definitely done these projects before without having this tape. It just does help a little bit so that your design doesn't slide around once you've centered it perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a clean piece of butcher paper over my design, and then I set it to 385 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 seconds on my Easy Press 2. And once it beeped that it was done, I removed that butcher paper. And then once it was cool enough to touch, but still warm, I just pulled the tape and my design up. And as you can see, it transferred beautifully. The colors are so pretty, so vibrant, and I just love this project and how easy it is. Okay, so here is how the first plant shirt turned out. I think it looks so cute. I'm trying to show you without my hair getting in the way, but I'm always amazed at how like vibrant the colors come through because they look pretty dull before you transfer them and apply the heat. And then I'm always just amazed at how vibrant they are whenever they get onto the surface after you apply the heat. So I think this is really cute. This is totally something you would buy in a store or like on Etsy, so it's so much fun to be able to make it for yourself. Of course, this is the second one that I've made and I'm really happy with it, and it should hold up perfectly fine with washing it because now the ink is part of the fabric. So I hope you guys will try this one out. For the next one, I went into a new project and I made sure that I was clicked into my Cricut Joy because I want to show you how you can do this with the Joy. So once again, you're going to click on images, and this time I decided to search for flowers just to see what came up, and I found this really simple flower design that I thought was so pretty. So I clicked on that and then insert the images into Design Space. Again, I'm going to resize it, and this is your preference, how big or small you want it to be. And then make sure you go up to the operation choice and then click on draw instead of cut. Now this time I am using a pen. I'm using an Infusible Ink pen. So I'm just gonna click on this little box to the right, and I'm using a fine point pen, but I'm gonna scroll down to let it know that I'm using an Infusible Ink pen. This time I'm using this Wild Aster purple color, which I think is really pretty. So now we can go ahead and click on Make It, and this is gonna be a little bit different than the Explore. So you're gonna click on Mat because we're using a piece of paper that I'll stick to a cutting mat. So then I can go ahead and mirror my image just like before, and you can see this is the long mat for the Cricut Joy. Then we click Continue, and now it's going to ask what my base material is. So I'm gonna type in copy and then click on laser copy paper and say done. And now it's prompting me to load my materials, so I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. So this is the purple pen that I'm using, and I'm just gonna put it right in this clamp here and close it up. And then I've got a big piece of paper on this little mat here. So once I had it on there, I just cut off the excess. I just find it easier this way rather than guessing ahead of time. So you just want to cut it so that it fits on the mat and the edge does not have to be clean on that one side. So you can go ahead and load your material in, and the Joy kind of checks to make sure that your mat is all aligned and everything. And then once it's done, it will start drawing your image. And again, I think this is so cool, and I really like the way that the pen does these fine details and makes it really delicate and really pretty. So now that it's done, I'm going to flip it over, and this mat is not new, so it wasn't as sticky, so it was much easier to pull away from the paper. And just like before, I cut off the excess paper so that I just had my design left. This time I'm using a gray t-shirt. I'm going to slide some cardstock in again to prevent the ink from bleeding through to the back. And then I heated it up, preheated it with a piece of butcher paper and my Easy Press. And then I did the whole lint roll thing to make sure that there was nothing on it. And then I centered my design. So of course, again, you want to keep it face down, center it as best as possible. And if you do choose to use the heat resistant tape, you can just add a couple pieces in the corner. Then put a clean piece of butcher paper down and use your Easy Press for 385 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 seconds. Once this is complete, I just removed the butcher paper and the design, and I think this is so pretty, so simple, delicate, and I love how it turned out. Okay, and then here is the shirt using the pen. As you can see, it's like a little bit less vibrant because it was the pen, it's more delicate, and it's also on the gray shirt, so obviously this didn't show up as well as the white, but I really still like it. I think it's kind of delicate, more simplistic of a look, so it kind of just depends on like what you're going for, but now at least you know the 2 different methods and you can try them out and let me know what you guys think. Okay, so there you have it. That is how you make an Infusible Ink shirt. It is pretty easy. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. I really love this project because there are so many designs and images available in Design Space, but you can also create your own, so it's really versatile. You can give them as gifts, make them for yourself, or even use them as like a little favor, like onesies for a baby shower or something. I just think there are so many different options, so it's a really cool project. I will link all the supplies that you need to create this project down in the description box below, so if you do want to try this out, you can find all of the materials there. And that being said, if you do try this out, make sure you tag me on Instagram or share a picture with me in a DM or something, because I love to see them and share them. You guys are so creative and it's so much fun to see what you make based off of my tutorials. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on my DIY videos every single week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification button, and you'll get notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.